So after trillions of dollars in bank bailouts, stimulus, quantitative easing to infinity, and a recent statement from Ben Bernanke at the Federal Reserve telling us that they're not going to raise rates until 2014, 2009, 2010, 2011, 12, 13, 14, 6 years since the collapse of global capital markets in 2008, the real GDP growth rate only grows at a clip of 2%. 2% is as good as it gets. Housing's at a multi-decade low, has crashed for the 6th consecutive month, although we've seen pockets of the United States move and bounce around the bottom after losing about 90% of its value in just a couple of years. Also, the latest tyranny bill, CISPA, C-I-S-P-A, is proven, just like SOPA and PIPA, which the people were actually able to revoke and to stop, that the government will use anything at its disposal to bend over the American people and to strip you of your constitutional civil liberties and your right against, as protected in the U.S. Constitution, unlawful search and seizure. Now, if it's a matter of national security, according to CISPA, hey, maybe you're a terrorist, maybe you're a hacker, or maybe they just catch a word in there about Obama that they don't like. With the CISPA bill, they can go in and check all your emails and monitor your accounts. But here's what Americans are missing in regards to SOPA and PIPA and CISPA. We're focusing too much on the legislation, too much on the bills themselves, saying, oh my God, I can't imagine if the United States government had that kind of dictatorial power and was able to, pull down my pants and expose me and expose what I'm doing and saying online. See, that right there is the fiction, and that is the lie that the American people are telling themselves. The government does not need these bills, does not need SOPA, PIPA, or CISPA to do these sort of things. They already are. They're already monitoring everything you say or do, everything you write, everything you post, whether or not it's on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or just the search engines that you might frequent, such as Google or Bing. You're already being monitored. You're already being watched. Of course, the Patriot Act, which is the most unpatriotic acts that could have possibly been passed post-September 11th, 2001, which was planned long in advance before that tragedy or that national crime was committed against humanity, whether or not you feel that that was committed by the government itself or crazy terrorists. You know those crazy people that wear the turbans or whatever, or those things around their head in the Middle East that we need to be really afraid about? So here's my prediction, take it for what it's worth. Gas, according to the Department of Interior Secretary Ken Salazar, he says we could have $9 a gallon gasoline in the near future. Well, I don't know if we quite get to $9 a gallon, but gas is definitely going higher, and it's going to kneecap any chances of an economic recovery. And our stock market people always love to tell me that, oh, Christopher, it hasn't crashed yet. Oh, it hasn't crashed. Well, it has crashed, my friends. It's crashing higher now with hyperinflation. It's crashing higher now with the inflation that we see not only at the gas pump, but with things like food and basic necessities. This is dollar devaluation at its finest. This is what it feels like. This is what it looks like when a fiat currency, the US dollar, which is being printed into infinity, continues to lose its real value, continues to lose its worth. And it's exactly why more and more Americans have been looking at things like gold, silver to protect themselves, which have been around for centuries and have proven to be hard money, real money, and a proven strategy to preserve your net worth. And in my opinion, as I've said many times before, of course, I'm not a professional investment advisor. Please, consult these individuals or companies on your own. But this is one of the few areas, gold, silver, precious metals, that every American needs to have, in my opinion, as part of a well-diversified investment portfolio to protect against these great risks going forward. Now, that's not to say you put all your eggs in one basket, but if we know, and if we're living through now, inflation and a hyperinflation scenario in the very near future where we're actually looking at $9 a gallon of gasoline, or we're looking at food costs going through the roof where we can't even afford to feed our family. But then we're still seeing deflation in areas such as housing and everything that's tied to credit. Because remember, we've talked about this incessantly over the past few years, any credit instruments, mortgages, homes, educational expenses, credit cards, anything tied to the phony credit expansion, the fake wealth machine, has experienced and is experiencing rapid, aggressive, massive deflation. Okay, we've seen this where most people are awake, or have been awoken to it.